Hey, how's it going? This is Brando from Brandlix Media, and today we are going to talk about the exact same scaling frameworks and systems that we use to scale a company from $200 a day up to $20,000 a day in sales, right? And I'm going to show you the proof, show you the company, the case study, and everything. But we have to understand one simple thing. Why do I want to bring you through these, specifically the scaling strategies and frameworks that we use? Because it's literally the hardest thing to do. A lot of companies try to scale and then they have to scale back because of they have several problems that they're dealing with. And in some companies, they scale, but they're not profitable, right? So I want to make sure that I break down exactly how we scale companies so you can replicate the exact same frameworks, right, that we use for our clients into your e-commerce brand, and you can get going. All right, with no further ado, let's get right into the video. Great, so before we get it going, as usual, let me actually show you the proof so you know this is real. Let me just refresh once again. So why do I want to go through this case study? So full disclosure, this is a seasonal brand, and so they have peak seasons, right? And then they go down and then they go up. But why do I want to show you this specific case study? As you can see, we started scaling them when they were making around 100, 200 bucks a day. And now we're hitting around 20,000, 21. I think we're probably going to hit maybe $25,000 in sales. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated. Either way, it doesn't matter if you have a seasonal business or an evergreen business. Whenever you try to scale or maintain scale, right, you need to do you need to follow certain specific frameworks. And I don't know why, but a lot of people don't talk about these things on YouTube or all over the internet. So what I want to do is break down exactly. I have my free forms, my diagrams as usual. I'm a very visual person. I'm going to bring you through a couple very fundamental business aspects, right? And business principles, let's call them. So let me share my screen over here and let's go over the nitty and gritty. Boom, there it is. Cool. So 7-figure principles of scaling an e-commerce brand. And this is specifically for scaling, not testing, not optimizing, not doing this, not doing that, just specifically about scaling. Okay. So if you're in a position where you want to scale, this is for you. Whether you're doing 100K, 300K, right? 10K a month, $0, this is for you. Okay. Now, the first principle when it comes to scaling and assuming you have something that somewhat works and you want to scale it is understanding this very important principle that not a lot of people understand in the first place, okay? And this is a gap that we always try to fill. I would say 90 to 95% of our clients leverage us to fill in this creative gap. And I'm talking about a creative gap. And what does a creative gap mean? This is what it means. If you are here with your ad spend, right? Let's just say 5K, 10K, it doesn't actually matter, right? It's the same principle across all proportions, right? If you're here, most likely your creative input is either the same, and if it's the same, you're already doing good, but most likely it's here. And so what ends up happening is that you started scaling, right? You started pumping some creatives, right? And you started spending and spending and spending. It was profitable, it was profitable, it was profitable, and then the ceiling starts to hit, and then you just start to focus on spending more, and then the creative, maybe you're bumping it up a little bit, but you're just spending more than what you should. And what ends up happening is that your ads are not profitable, your campaigns are just not working. You try to spend more, and it doesn't make sense from an economic standpoint based on your gross margins, based on your everything, right? It just doesn't make sense economically. And so what we want to do, and what we do with all of our clients, at least, this is our framework that we use, is that we always want to create a surplus of creatives, where almost as if we're trying to support 2 or 3 times the amount of spend. Why do we want this? Well, because the more we feed the algorithms, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, or whatever platform that you're trying to scale on, the more we feed it, and the more they will prioritize us and put us on the top of the line when it comes to like advertising competition, right? So they will give us better costs. And the reason why this is important is because literally you cannot scale if you don't continuously pump in creatives. And this is how the social platforms work. I'm not talking about Google. Google is based on search terms. I'm talking about consumable platforms like TikTok and Meta, right? Social platforms. Platforms where people need a like, comment, share, right? This is what I'm talking about. So this is this is what you need to understand. If you want to spend, you need a surplus of creatives. And also, let's not even say creatives, I'm also referring to sales assets like landing pages, advertorials, right? Offers, like these are all sales assets that you always need a surplus of if you want to spend more and scale profitably, right? Now, this is, hopefully you got this concept. Moving forward, this is also kind of like a really important concept that is really fundamental. And it's understanding the proportion between testing versus scaling. Okay? Whenever we scale, right, what ends up happening typically is that when you find something that works and you're ready to scale, you just triple down on that. And most likely what is going to end up happening is that you're going to actually scale, but it's really hard for you to maintain that scale, right? And the reason why it's hard for you to maintain that scale is because you're literally putting all of your eggs in one basket, right? Whether it's one product, whether it's one angle that you're using to promote your product within one product, because you're using basically one angle within one product. And typically, you can actually scale to multiple seven figures with just one product. But the only way to get there is if you continuously have a testing strategy throughout your scaling strategy as well. So what we do is that even if we try to scale, we dedicate 10, 15, and if you want to be right, it would be around 20%. Sometimes we go a little more down, like 15% of the budget towards completely new concepts, angles, scripts, creators, right? Everything completely new. And the reason why we want to do that because this 20%, 15, 20% budget is going to help us find winning concepts, winning products, whatever it is, scripts, creators, so that we can scale further and maintain a much more consistent scale at scale, right? So this is exactly kind of the percentage 80-20% rule. It also applies here. And so let me just read what I wrote here. When people find winning concepts, they tend to stop testing and putting all their eggs in one basket, as I said before. And if you want to maintain scale, you have to distribute your revenue in different buckets. The only way to do this is by continuously testing. Now, I have two types of businesses that I kind of like drew out over here, and this will like visually help you understand exactly what I'm talking about and why this idea of continuously testing new concepts while you're scaling is absolutely fundamental and crucial. Okay, so. And guys, once again, this doesn't apply only to companies that are like already doing 50, 100, 200K a month, whatever. It also applies for smaller proportions as well. So it's important that if you're only making 3K a month, it's important that you also understand these as you scale from 3K a month. It's the same exact thing. It only gets a lot more noisy, right? And you need to be a lot more organized when you scale and spend more. It's just, the game of business. Now, this business number one is a business where we are applying this 80 to 20% rule. So as we scale, we find winning concepts, and what ends up happening is that we're able to find, I don't know, this is just a random chart, but I just wanted to visually help you understand how it works. We're able to find 6 different angles, and by the way, when I say angles, it could be scripts, it could be landing pages, advertorials, it could be the creators, some sort of angle or structure or strategy that can be scaled. And typically it ends up being like a framework, like in terms of angle, how you approach your marketing. That's typically what I mean by angle. Okay, there's multiple ways to approach, AirPods, right? There's multiple ways to sell this type of product, and you need to find your way in your own way that is profitable within your market that you're trying to approach. Okay, so that's what I mean. So here, this is an amazing business model because you have 5% of revenue coming from here, of your cash flow, 5% coming from here, then you have a 20% coming from here, then you have 60% coming from these two angles. And of course, what is going to end up happening is that most of the times, like one or two angles, I would say like around 10% or 20% of your angles are going to make 80% of your revenue or something like that, kind of like this distribution again, right? But it's really important to still maintain a process where you continuously test to find more of the 20%, to find more of the 10%, because guess what? It adds up over time. And there's nothing worse than having a business model number 2, where you're basically 90% of your monthly cash flow is relying on one angle, and then only 10% of your revenue is relied on another angle. And the only reason that you put yourself in this position is because you are not able to test 20% of your budget, or who knows what, as you are scaling, right? And what ends up happening, and we've actually onboarded this year, we've onboarded one client, it happened to them, and then we had to offboard them just because they did not understand the idea of this concept, and they maybe did not agree, right? And what ended up happening is that they were actually scaling to like 150, 200K a month. We were really on the right track, and guess what? And as soon as they started working with us, everything stopped working, right? Everything stopped working, and so we had to take a step back. But then they decided to just part ways because they didn't agree with this approach, and they just wanted to change another product. Okay, so that's just a random story that I brought you with. But the moral of the story is that they came to us with one angle, and as soon as that angle dropped, we kind of need to, and it will drop. Like each angle that you test, whether it's a product, an angle, a framework, a creator, whatever it is, it's eventually going to stop working, or it's as well, or it's just going to completely stop working. And it's unexplainable. Sometimes it's just how the market reacts to your product. There's product saturation, there's offer saturation, there's angle saturation, there's saturations on the scripts that you use. It's just the world of marketing, right? And I have no idea why a lot of companies and business owners, when they want to scale, they think that what they are creating, the profitable infrastructure and business that they are creating reliant on one angle or one product, is going to last for the next 5 to 10 years. Like, it's literally not how it works. It's not how it works. So this is the worst scenario that you can probably be in. Sure, you made some money, you scaled, but then boom, your business basically drops. So we want to create a situation where we're able to scale a business with this infrastructure over here. Now, let's actually go through. And this is something that I speak about a lot in my community. By the way, if you haven't joined yet, we have a free and a paid community. The paid, you get a couple calls during the weeks with me. Sorry, I can't talk. 2 calls a week with me. And we share resources, we share modules, master classes. There's literally everything you need, and it's only $49 a month. It's like nothing. But if you want, there's also a free community, and I share these systems and processes and diagrams within these communities, right? So you can just get access for free if you want. Now, getting back to the video, this is really fundamental. Strategic, creative, testing, and scaling strategy, okay? Now, how do we test this 20%, right? How do we actually find these winning concepts within the 20%? How is it possible? Like, how do I start this procedure? Now, we have to understand how the framework works when it comes to creative testing from A to Z. And we start from A, and A is testing different angles. I know a lot of people that they test a lot of different creators, but only test one angle. And it's actually the opposite way, because why the creators succeed is because they're using the right angle and framework. Okay, so what you have to do is go and test multiple angles, right? Don't stop. Test a dozen, test 20, 30, 40, 50 until you find something that sticks and works. Don't give up. If you're confident about your product and other people are doing millions or billions with it, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get a piece of the pie. And the only reason you're not getting a piece of the pie is because you're not testing enough angles. I can guarantee you that is the case, okay? Trust me here. So don't test a bunch of different creators. You don't need to invest thousands of dollars from the get-go with creators. Put your ad spend into angles, okay? Once you find it, and by the way, how do you start? You test an angle, a framework, a scripts. You maybe have 1 or 2 creators. You launch 1 or 2 image ads. And if you see that works, keep going into this next scaling process. So scale angle 2 and scale angle 3. So in this scenario, angle 1 and 4 didn't work. Angle 2 and 3 worked and are profitable and are ready to scale. What we want to do is then replicate the same success by testing other similar creatives, and then you're gonna see that some creators are gonna work better than others. And so in this case, creator number 4 and creator number 5 in both of these angles are working very well. So we want to understand what were the characteristics of this creator or UGC person that made this creative work, right? What are the characteristics that made the creative or the ad profitable in the first place? We want to replicate that and find other similar creatives. And so what you want to do is, once again, you test different angles. You soft test with a couple UGC people and some image ads to get the ball rolling. You scale with more UGC people. You scale with more creators that are similar to the ones that did well, and then you can scale even further with mashups. You put different UGC videos all together by testing different hooks, right? Same exact angle, same exact script, but you test the first 3 to 5 seconds of each video. You test similar creators, as I said before. You have B-rolls. Whenever you have creators do a video, also ask for B-rolls. B-rolls are like footage, right? If I'm selling this product, a B-roll is like me showing the product, me doing a skincare routine, me drinking the bottle of water, me showing unboxing. Like all these footages are really important, because what you can do is that when you have a lot of B-roll, you can put them all together, and you can do then AI voiceovers, which is the next way to scale. You can basically scale by using a very similar script, but diversifying the script with different hooks using AI with voiceovers, and then with the B-rolls. I know that I'm talking a lot here. I actually have a specific video about B-rolls in my YouTube channel. If you're interested, it's a great way, which is a lot cheaper to scale. If you want to leverage B-rolls and creators, okay? And then of course, testing variations of the same winning scripts and angles, okay? So this is the infrastructure of how you should start scaling or creative testing, right? This 20% over here, you should start with this infrastructure, okay? And once you get the ball rolling, you can start focusing on other things like this, okay? Now, this is what is how I would set up the creative testing infrastructure. Okay, let me know if you have any questions on this. Now, moving forward, and don't roll your eyes. I know that you're gonna roll your eyes. I'm not saying you have to do your email marketing, but you kind of actually do. Email and SMS. I'm gonna tell you why. If you have an infrastructure where you are able to capture information, you should be, and it's set up right, you should be able to capture around 20 to sometimes even 30% of your revenue. This is literally an example of a break-even business to a very profitable business, 20 to 30%, right? So it's a no-brainer. So you have to see this sales process as a straight line system, okay? This is the straight line. People go from your ads to your website to the cart checkout, then maybe you have a couple upsells. You should, if you want to optimize your conversion rates or your average order value, right? Have your upsells. And then a thank you page. So this is what we like to call a straight line system. Within the straight line system, what's going to end up happening is that as they go through the straight line, people are just going to drop off on the website, drop off on the cart, drop off on the checkout, drop off on the upsell 1, on the 2, on the thank you page, right? You can't really drop off on the thank you page, but essentially you can capture different data points when they land on the thank you page. So what we want to do is basically put and create systems and processes with email and SMS marketing strategies to capture their email once. You only have to capture the email once when they hop on the website, so that we have a tracking pixel from Klaviyo or from your email marketing software provider that literally knows exactly what they're doing. And once we know what they're doing, we are able to segment them with email flows and campaigns and SMS campaigns, and we can literally send an email to people that bought that went through checkout and didn't buy upsell 1, and we can show them an email to upsell them with upsell 1, because we know that they bought a complimentary product. Like, things can get really crazy and segmented on Klaviyo, and this is the exact reason why you should do this. This will get you 20 to 25 to 30% more sales if you do it right. Trust me on this. I'm not joking around. So if you want to scale with retention systems. Don't scale without retention systems. Scale with retention systems. Okay, I can't stress this enough. Now, let me know if you have any questions on this, but this is kind of like a wake-up call. I also have another video where I break down the entire email marketing infrastructure that we use. Go check my other YouTube videos. I literally break down all of the pre-purchase flows, the post-purchase flows, the email marketing campaigns, and ideas that you can use, and how to set it up. Okay, so go watch that video if you want. This is just a high-level understanding of how you should implement things. And these are business fundamentals. Even this next point over here, you should scale as if you would want to sell your business, right? A business is not going to be so, like, even if you don't want to sell your business, okay? You don't have to sell your business. If you build and scale your business as if you want to sell it, you're going to have literally the best, you're going to be in the best situation ever. Because why do businesses want to be bought? Like, why do venture capitals or private equity firms, whatever, why do we want to buy businesses in the first place? What are they looking for? They're looking for a business, an e-commerce brand that has a team, that has product development, that has a community to it, that has accounting, that has data tracking, that has revenue distributions like this, for example, right? So they're looking for multiple different aspects. They're not looking for a one product business that is reliant on one person, on one product, on one sales process, on one funnel, on one offer, on one channel, on one everything. No email marketing, no nothing. There's no fundamentals and there's no nothing. Now, once again, I'm not saying that you have to sell your business, but if you scale your business as if you want to sell it, it's going to be way easier for you to maintain scale, efficiency, profitability. And guess what? You can also buy yourself time back by having all of these things in process. If you are a one-man show, a one product business, a one everything in your business, you're gonna go crazy. Like there's gonna be unpredictability, eventually unprofitability, right? You're gonna be maybe alone, maybe you have another person helping you out on the side, like a VA, whatever. Like you don't want to be in this position. So as soon as you have the capital, I would recommend, whether it's an agency, an in-house team, or somebody within whatever in this world that is an expert to help you out and eventually free up your time so that you can actually develop on actually building a brand that is profitable, sustainable, and consistent. Now, these are fundamentals that you need to understand. You can't grow a business without data tracking. Like you literally cannot grow and maintain scale if you don't know where your money is coming from exactly, from what ads, from what creatives, right? From what frameworks, from landing pages. Literally, you need to be a data nerd. You need to know everything about your numbers. This is just one example. Same thing with revenue distribution. You can't rely on one thing. You need to rely on multiple other cash flow opportunities, right? Same thing with community. A lot of people think that they just can sell one product. You can make 7 figures, whatever, with a product, but it's gonna die off if you don't have some sort of branding or community element within your marketing and within your actual business, right? I mean, community is the most important thing if you're looking for business evaluation, if you're looking for new product launches opportunities, right? Instead of launching a product to nobody, you can launch a product to your community, to your email list, to your Facebook group, to your whatever, right? It's way easier to actually grow and test new products if you have community. Like, all of these concepts are important and they add up together and they stack up like this, kind of like what I'm showing you here. So they're very fundamental and important. I'm gonna stop ranting about this, okay? I'm done with this video, but I wanted to bring you through, these are pretty much the scaling principles that we use to make sure that we hit consistent revenue numbers. In other videos, I'm gonna go more in the nitty and gritty, but in terms of like the actual strategies that we use, I also have other videos where I am very specific about the strategies. But in this video, I just wanted to give you a very generic understanding of business principles that you need to implement to scale profitably in the first place. Okay, if you haven't joined my free community, I really invite you to join. Just click the link below. And also, please give me suggestions of videos. I actually read all the comments. Most of the times I answer all of them if I have some time, but I really read the comments, especially the ones that are, related to new, video opportunities, questions and stuff like that. So with no further ado, I'm done with this video. I hope you got some value from it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.